If I handed you two choices right now. Choice number 1, I give you $10 today. Choice number 2, I give you $730,000. Which one would you take? Obviously, you'd take the $730,000. But here's the disturbing part. Most people choose the $10 every single day. Not because they're bad with money, not because they're irresponsible, because nobody ever shows them what they're actually giving up. Every time you buy something you don't really need, you're not just spending money. You're spending the future version of that money. And that future version is often worth 10, 20, even 50 times more than the number on the receipt. A coffee isn't just a coffee. A convenience purchase isn't just a convenience purchase. A random Amazon order isn't just a random Amazon order. Each one carries an invisible price tag. And once you see that price tag, you'll never look at money the same way again. Because the difference between financial freedom and financial stress is often not your salary. It's what happens to the small amounts of money you stop paying attention to. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how a single $10 decision repeated every day can quietly become one of the biggest financial choices of your entire life. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why millions of Americans work for money their entire lives, while a small group of people eventually reach a point where their money starts working for them. Let's begin. Imagine two 22-year-olds. Same city, same income, same opportunities, same starting point. The first person spends an extra $10 every day. Nothing crazy. A coffee, a snack, food delivery fees, streaming subscriptions. Small purchases that feel insignificant. The second person invests that same $10 into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. Now here's what's fascinating. For the first few months, there's absolutely no visible difference between them. Both live the same life. Both go to work. Both pay bills. Both feel equally broke. Nothing appears different. But something important has already happened. One person is consuming. The other person is accumulating ownership. One person's money disappears forever. The other person's money starts building an army. And that's what investing really is. Most people think investing means buying stocks. It doesn't. Investing means purchasing tiny pieces of businesses that continue producing value while you sleep. When you own an S&P 500 index fund, you own pieces of hundreds of America's most powerful companies. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Google, Costco, Visa. Companies that generate billions of dollars every year. The moment you buy those shares, your money begins working, even when you're not. And that's where everything starts changing, not immediately, but inevitably. Here's the problem. Human beings are terrible at understanding exponential growth. Our brains evolved to understand straight lines, not curves. If I give you $100 today and another $100 tomorrow, your brain understands that. But compounding doesn't grow in straight lines. It grows like an avalanche. Slow at first, then unstoppable. Let's look at what happens when someone invests just $10 per day. After 1 year, around $3,650 invested. Nothing exciting. After 5 years, around $23,000. Better, but still not life-changing. After 10 years, over $60,000. Now things get interesting. But here's where most people quit. The first decade feels slow, painfully slow. The rewards seem too small. The effort feels too long. People want results now. And that's exactly why most people never experience the later stages of compounding. Because the biggest rewards don't show up in the beginning, they show up at the end. Compounding is like planting a tree. The first years feel disappointing. Then one day, you realize you're sitting under shade that didn't exist before. The people who become wealthy aren't necessarily smarter. They simply stay invested long enough to reach the part of the curve where the magic finally becomes visible. Now let's talk about the concept that changed my view of money forever. The invisible price tag. Imagine you're 25 years old. You buy a $10 coffee. No big deal, right? Wrong. That coffee actually has two prices. The visible price, $10. The invisible price, what that $10 could become if invested. At historical market returns, that same $10 could become nearly $175 to $200 over the next 3 decades. Suddenly, the coffee isn't costing $10. It's costing almost $200. And that's only one purchase. Now multiply that by 365 days per year. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. This is where fortunes are quietly created or destroyed, not through giant financial decisions, through thousands of tiny invisible ones. The average American doesn't lose financial freedom because of one terrible purchase. They lose it through thousands of harmless-looking purchases that never seem important enough to question. The danger isn't spending money. The danger is never calculating the second price tag. Once you start seeing that second number, your entire relationship with money changes. Most people think wealthy investors have incredible discipline. They don't. They have systems. And systems beat motivation every time. Think about it. How many times have you promised yourself you'll save money next month, or invest when things calm down, or start once you earn more? Months become years. Years become decades. Nothing changes, because motivation is unreliable. Some days you're motivated. Some days you're tired. Successful investors remove themselves from the decision entirely. Automatic transfers, automatic investments, automatic contributions. Money moves before emotions get involved. That's the secret. Not intelligence, not luck. Automation. The moment your paycheck arrives, a percentage gets invested. No debate, no discussion, no temptation. Just execution. Over time, this simple system becomes more powerful than almost any financial strategy you'll ever learn, because consistency beats perfection. Every single time. Then comes the test, and it always comes. The market crashes. Headlines scream. Fear spreads everywhere. People panic. Your account drops 20%, maybe 30%, maybe more. Suddenly, years of progress seem to disappear, and your brain starts whispering, sell. Protect yourself. Wait until things recover. But here's what history teaches. The market has survived recessions, wars, political crises, financial collapses, pandemics, and every single time, eventually it recovered. The greatest investors aren't the ones who predict crashes. They're the ones who survive them. Patience creates returns. Panic destroys them. The market transfers wealth from the impatient to the patient. And that transfer has been happening for over a century. Around year 20, something incredible happens. Your money begins earning more money than your labor. Read that again. Your investments start producing more growth than your actual contributions. You become a minority contributor to your own wealth. The system takes over. At that point, every market gain creates gains on previous gains, and those gains create even more gains. The snowball becomes enormous. Now, imagine reaching a point where your portfolio generates $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, or more every year. Not from working overtime, not from taking another job, not from hustling harder, but from assets you purchased years earlier. That's when financial freedom stops being a dream and starts becoming math. Right now, somewhere in America, someone is holding $10. Maybe they're about to spend it. Maybe they're about to invest it. To them, it feels like a small decision. But it isn't. It's a future decision disguised as a present one. Because the real question was never, what can $10 buy today? The real question is, what can $10 become? That's the question wealthy people ask, and that's why they get different results. 30 years from now, you won't remember most of the things that stole your $10. You won't remember the coffee, the delivery fee, the impulse purchase, the random subscription. But you'll absolutely notice the difference between having a 6-figure investment account and wishing you had started one. Because the greatest advantage in investing isn't money. It isn't intelligence. It isn't timing. It's time itself. And every day that passes gives you less of it. So if you're waiting for the perfect moment to start, this is it. The first $10 isn't important because of its size. It's important because it's the beginning. And the beginning of wealth always looks small. Until one day, it doesn't. You already have the key. The only question is whether you'll use it.